Arthur, my co-host from Xtreme Grafx. I'm with Oddmost Pizza. This is Bonnie Milletto. She is a force of nature. That is the best way I can put it. She'll explain a little bit more about how she's a force of nature because she has a lot to add. And I myself am very happy you're here. You know, I had not met you. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about you. And so I get to experience you firsthand, you know. And so Arthur's got some questions. He's right out of the gate to get us started. And speak freely.
Oh boy.
Let it go.
Okay, so no guardrails. Here we go.
Bonnie, I just want you to just tell us exactly who you are and what you do. If you can sum that up quickly.
Oh, dear Father, quickly, Arthur.
2,400 words
I
or
don't know
less.
how I can do this. It reminds me of the time last year when my friend Billy, a videographer, said, I need you to come into my studio and you tell people who you are. No, that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
But I'll tell you through a story. Mm-hmm. And I invited about 50 folks to join me at the River Park Carousel, and we told the story about who I am. My presence is one of light, love, hope, possibility, and a whole lot of fun. It is relationships, and that is the cornerstone of my success, not only in life, but in this thing you call business.
Yeah, great. So I know that you have been on the stage and you had a big conference, a women's conference here in Salem.
Oh my gosh.
And do you want to give us a little history about that?
7 years.
Yeah.
6 years on stage. And it all happened when one of my best friends in the Salem community, Mike McLaren. Hey, Mike, I said your name again. Mike McLaren passed, and he went out for a run, didn't know he had this heart condition. They found him. I am in Portland at the time at a book signing, and it was all finished. My husband and the group that was there were going across the street to meet at a little restaurant bar. I said, I'll be there in a moment. And I went into the restroom, pulled out my phone. Okay, too much information, people. But ping, 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 ping. Have you heard about Mike? I didn't know what had happened. I called my friend Diane McLaren, and all I got was her screaming. So, went home, packed my bag, and stayed with her for about a week. After that, though, months later, she was still in that deep, deep, dark depression. This is so other-directed, thank you. When I asked her, if you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you do? She goes, Bon, I always wanted to speak, and Mike always wanted me to come into his business and speak. I think I want to be a motivational speaker. Hadn't thought about this, had never put that together. I said, I know, we'll have a women's conference. We'll call it Amazing You. You'll have 20 minutes to speak, and I'll help you. She goes, what does that mean? Excuse my French. I said, hell if I know, but we'll figure it out. It started at the event center at Broadway Commons on the second floor with 64 women. 6 years later, we had been at the convention center for about 3 years, and then COVID hit. And I thought, okay, my job is done. I kept getting the messages. I'm alone, I'm isolated. What are you going to do? Bon, are you going to have the event? Everything's closed down. But then a friend, Eric from Albany, said, Bon, I have a friend who has a studio, Apogee Studio here in Salem. I bet you he'll let you use the studio. So under strict COVID protocol, I filmed for over 5 months, and I had well over 40 people come in to speak, my TED Talk speakers, musicians, yoga, and I put together a 6.5-hour televised program. It took every resource I had. I mean, I'm scraping bottle money at the end of the month because I don't ask for help. I just do it. And I wanted everyone to be able to view that, so I only charged $19. I needed 1,000 people to sign up. I got 1,023.
Wow.
Job is done. So that was year 7. I ended the conference, but I go back to the relationships that I have made. And people came from 7 states to come to that conference.
That's amazing.
And it was amazing. So, Amazing You Empowerment Conference.
Yeah, I love that. And
Awesome.
you also mentioned a book. So do you want to tell us about, I know that you have a couple books out there.
Oh, dear.
You're also an author, so a public speaker, nationally known, and an author. And is there anything else that I don't know about you that you...
I took a shower this morning.
Oh, that's fantastic. I
That's
love
good.
it.
Okay.
I love it.
Go ahead.
Please, no. So on your books, do you
Yeah.
want to tell us about your books?
Okay, the first book of stories that I put together, love
Which one's
it.
first?
The coffee. Ooh, I was in New York and met the world's latte art champion. And I said, oh, Janichi, if life could be as beautiful as latte art. We got to know each other. We have stayed connected to this day. That was 2014. I still had those doubts. Bonnie, you're not a writer. You barely passed high school. You're a speaker. You didn't learn phonics. Heaven forbid you give me something to say at the last minute that I don't already know. But people think it's my humor because I love to laugh when I butcher a word. Hors d'oeuvres. Well, I pronounced it hors d'oeuvres until they said, you are so much fun. And I go, thank you. They go, hors d'oeuvres. And I go, yeah, all right. But anyways.
You're like, I love them both.
I know.
They're just great.
Both good.
So I asked people in my life to write a story that I didn't even know about, a story of overcoming. And the stories are beautiful. And for example, my friend Bobby G, he was a wise guy on The Sopranos. Did you ever watch that series? Yeah. For 7 years before he got killed off. They all got killed off except for the leads. And when the planes hit the Twin Towers, Bobby was not trained in any medical profession, but he kissed his wife and 2 daughters goodbye and said, I have to go help. He put bottles of water in his pickup, picked up doctors on the way, drove to the site, and for 5 days helped find survivors. To this day, Bobby has a cooking show. He's been awarded a Medal of Honor because he's permanently disabled from the president, George Bush. And I've been back a couple of times to see Bobby. And he takes me to Ground Zero, and they all know him. And they go, Bobby, you know, and we go right in. And we're sitting one day, we're having a beer. And I go, Bobby, if you had to, and he goes, Bonbon, don't ask me. If I had to do it all over again, would I? And he goes, of course. It was the right thing to do. There's going to be people in there you might recognize a name, others you won't. But that is in the book of stories. Oh my gosh. The front cover, Guatemala. I had a speaking engagement in Guatemala City. Big. It's where you walked out onto the stage and you see the glass booths with the headphones on. Well, they're interpreting in all these different languages. And I thought, who the heck is coming? Well, I didn't realize until it was starting to be put together, but the vice president of Guatemala, I would be following. It's like, okay, so I guess better take a shower then too. So anyway, it was so great. That experience was so amazing. The culture, the men were I am the manly men. Well, I had men on stage dancing and the crowd loved it. I had always watched travel segments on television. And I wanted to see that beautiful arch in Antigua, Guatemala. So I hired a driver, went to Antigua. I had taken, this is when I was a dental office manager for Kim Cooch in Albany. Hey, Kim. 250 individually wrapped candy necklaces.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to play with the kids in the street. This family had just swept out their dirt floor. They were crying. They were so happy I was playing with their children. They invited me into their home. I didn't know that this would be the front cover of the book. What happened when I was in Guatemala, I'm out in a coffee field, picking coffee cherries with women and children, and I start playing with kids. And I thought this was their parents, and they're watching me. And they came up and they said, "Who are you?" And I'm like Bonnie, who just fell off the turnip truck, which I literally did back in the day. I said, "Oh, I had a speaking engagement in Guatemala City. I always wanted to come to an Antigua. My husband is in coffee. I'm picking coffee cherries." They go, "How long are you going to be here?" And I told them. They were teachers from the international school in Antigua, Guatemala. Well, one thing led to another. They had me out to the school the next day. For the next year, they had a secured email line, and I got to coach young writers in putting together their own books.
Very nice.
And it was wonderful. 8 of them went on to publish their book. I loved working with that school. 2026, I look forward to going back. This was right before COVID closed everything. So I know.
That is great.
Oh no. Oh, do you know what? This book, though, when kids were really acting out, I went back into my life and it's like, how can I help? How can I help? Share your story. What have you done to be where you are today? The number one thing was take responsibility for everything without blame. Take responsibility. Believe in yourself. Even when it doesn't look like anyone believes in you, you believe in yourself. Building confidence, never doubting your voice, and feeding yourself those positive words that are going to keep you going. So I put together a guidebook for youth. One thing led to another. It's out. Nobody knows about it because I'm not doing anything with it. I had a gentleman who had a speaking engagement here in Salem that was a little nervous. I wasn't planning on attending the event, but I said, "I'll be there." And he goes, "Why are you coming?" And I said, "You show up for who you believe in." And I brought one book with me to give to him to sign after. Well, when I'm checking in, here an old friend, Tony, the executive director from the Grafx Center in Salem, heard me and he goes, "Bonnie, where have you been? You have to sit at our table." Okay. Well, I didn't know Tony was with the Grafx Center. So the event is done. Hank, hey Hank, received a standing ovation. I get the book out and I go to sign it. Tony reaches for the book. I said, "That's not your book." And he goes, "You finished the book." We had had coffee several years before. I told him my dream about putting together this book for youth to help them get from where they are to where they want to be. I said, "I did." And I go, "But I brought this for Hank." And he goes, "When can I get a copy?" I said, "Well, I'll drop one off at your office. I have to be back in Salem tomorrow." I said, "Where's your office?" He goes, "Well, I'm kind of like the Grafx Center, executive director." Well, his team was there. Here I go again, excuse me. I said, "How the hell did you get that job?" We had served on a youth board many years ago. Well, I dropped the book off on a Friday. I also put 8 hours of curriculum to accompany the book for a 7-week course. And I got an email the very next morning, "Bon, we'd love to pilot this. Let's work together. Let's pilot." It's now in their teen programming. Then KeyBank Corporation came in, saw the work I was doing, saw the impact it was making.
Yeah.
What's your dream? I want to revise and edit it to be applicable not only for teens, but adults like me that can still have those limiting thoughts.
Yeah.
How much would that cost? I don't know. It's more than what I have. So I got the cost for the layout and design and the printing, and KeyBank Corporation gave a grant to have this
very nice.
done. This year, I am so grateful. I called Tony, my friends, Josh and Angel at KeyBank, and I said, I've got a great idea. I'm so grateful for where I am in my life and who's in my life. I want to give 1,000 books away. So today, when I meet with the Albany School District, they're taking me to lunch. They don't know, but they're getting the last 150 books.
Oh, very
As a
nice.
gift.
Very good. That's
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, somebody else talk. Stop
Mike?
me now.
Oh, well, well, about what you're talking about, it's kind of like, I always say that I'm a butterfly chaser, because there's no rhyme or reason to what I do, there's just,
I
just
love
kind of seem
that.
to just kind of bounce around.
Do
I've been
you
very-
dance too?
No, no, that would be very interesting. That'd be like we'll just, needless to say, my point being is it's amazing the kind of people you can bump into and meet, and
Yeah.
the kind of impact that they can have when you can, just take a little bit from them, they can take a little bit from you, and then apply it in different ways. And I don't think people give themselves enough latitude. And so I think when people see you, they go like, wow, she can really get away with doing that, or she can really do that, or she can do this. And I just think that in by itself is so inspirational that at that little piece that you can add to somebody makes a huge difference, And it's amazing how sometimes when you open that little bit of a door, what can come from that. And so I think, like, my greatest rewards is seeing a lot of the people that come through our company, because we're a stepping stone industry, so we have them for maybe a couple of years, is to see where they take that, and feel like you had a small piece in that whole part of the equation. It's very satisfying when you feel like, you're in the background, kind of going, yay,
I believe in you.
But-
You've got this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's tough because it's tough out there. But I think one of the hardest things that people do to themselves is limit themselves. They put a ceiling on top of what they're capable of doing because it's like a very comfortable
For years.
in ways.
Yeah.
And I just think that sometimes you get somebody to come along and kind of takes a chunk of that ceiling out and says, hey, there's more room up here. I just think it's neat. I love hearing what
Oh,
you're
I
doing.
love
and how
what
that
you
works.
said. Okay, butterfly. I still see you dancing though.
I love it. I love that, Bonnie.
I think we have something in common.
You mentioned that, and I think about my start in Albany. Yes, I was managing a dental office. Yes, for Home Federal Savings and Loan. I started as a file clerk, filing files in a basement with no windows across the alley. And 2.5 years later, because they saw potential in me, Bill Buckley, vice president of marketing at the time, I was selected to go back to school to get a marketing public relations degree. In less than 3 years, I became the marketing director of 14 branches. Someone that says, I see you, you have potential, what's your dream? And they opened that door. Oh my gosh, I was afraid, but I did it. And it was like, oh my gosh. But where was I going with this? Now I know where I'm going. So I'm at Home Federal Savings, and of course we would have monthly team meetings, and I worked with all the branch managers, but I had never spoke on a stage or out in public like that. Sharon Pascone, John Pascone, ring a
wife,
bell? All right. Sharon Pascone and I think we were in Altrusa, a community organization together who we did good things for people in the community. And she was putting together a big event at Lynn Benton Community College where a speaker was coming in, everybody would be in the auditorium. Then you would go out, there was this big catered food event. Her speaker, I don't remember his name because it was a blur, hurt his back, couldn't fly in. Sharon comes to my office and she's in tears. I don't know what I'm going to do. You have to help me. Sharon, what's wrong? She goes, Bon, the speaker can't come. People are coming, blah, blah, blah. Can you do it? No way. Well, so the dang friend starts to cry. I thought, oh dear Father, and I'm a people pleaser. Okay, I'll do it. So I said I would do it after bouts of, diarrhea and just horrible, terrible thoughts. I put together what it was, the theme, and all of this. The day came. Every seat in the auditorium is filled. The gentleman introduced me. I walked out, grabbed onto the podium. My knees are literally shaking. And it's like, and he goes off. And then, this is my first exposure. You can do anything, remember that. I started crying. Not just, but, I mean, stage fright. I had never done anything like that in my life. The gentleman who introduced me walked back on, put his arm around me and gave that old metaphor. Well, you know, most people would rather go through a root canal than speak in public, and would you like some water? I don't remember any Kleenex on stage when I said, yes. He brings me water. All you could see, because the lights are so bright, the first few rows of faces, they were shock, pity, embarrassment, like, oh, somebody help her. So anyway, I take the water. He goes back. You've got this. After I got the first laugh, I knew I was going to be okay. When I was done, I come off stage. There was a small group of people. They said, that was so awesome. What is your fee and your availability? I said, my what? I'm getting a free dinner. Okay, now, why I'm telling you that story is 2 weeks ago, I was in Lebanon, Oregon, working with the high school dance team. Their coach had heard me speak at an event this past year and remembered me and said, I want you to come and be with the girls. So I'm in Lebanon. It's getting late. I'm going to go through Albany to come home. Well, it was First Friday a couple of weeks ago. So I parked the car.
In Albany.
Yeah, in Albany.
And hanging out with Lynn.
No, I wasn't with Lynn. No. So I just parked the car. I was just going to walk around Monteith Park and get some exercise and take in that time with the girls because it was amazing. They're already asking, when are you coming back? Dear Father, they have so much energy. But anyway, I walk around the corner. Who were the first people I ran into? And here's open arms. Sharon Pascone.
Oh, good.
And her husband, John. So I had told my husband, oh, I'll be home in probably a little over an hour. I was home at 10 o'clock that night because I walked the street with them and seen more people that I hadn't seen in so long. So coming back is just what I meant to do. And now meeting with the school district today, I said, thank you for connecting the dots. I am the one from Albany for years that was invisible and no voice. And now.
But the thing about that is in everything, in entrepreneurship and business and public speaking and everything, it's about relationships.
Always.
And I think that you master that really well because I don't think there's a stranger in your life. I don't think you're shy to talk to anybody. I remember being down in Arizona not too long ago, and I remember we're getting on the elevator, and you just started talking to this guy like he was your best friend, and you hadn't seen him forever, and you just like, and this guy was like, whoa, who is this? And that's your personality. And you treat your friends that way too, because I know, I was just talking to somebody earlier, I can't mention their name because it's a surprise, but I told them who was coming on to our podcast first. Oh. And they heard and they're like, oh my God, I love her. And I got a Christmas card from her. And that just
You're trying to
speaks.
piece it together.
Yeah. So I'm just like playing with this one a little bit. But where I'm getting with this is that that's how you are. Like I've seen posts where you've picked up your friends just randomly, knowing it's their birthday, and pick them up, take them out for cake. And just the comments that you make, and that you treat everybody genuinely like they're your best friend. And I love that about you. I got another question for you.
Arthur, stop. Okay, who's the person coming on after me, and I'll forgive you.
I got another question for you. So all these people that you've touched in their life, and you've helped them be unstuck. Yep.
Okay.
That you helped them be unstuck, or you've made a big. Mike wants some too.
Dance for me, Mike. Dance for me. Yeah. Butterfly.
But you've touched so many people, whether it's in your conference, the books that you've written, the people you've met along the way. Is there anybody in particular that really sticks out in your mind that you come across, that you've touched, that has been a big impact on who you are, and that you feel like you've had the biggest impact with?
Oh my gosh. This is not my ego saying this, but many instances where people have told me in person or written. One, though, that comes to light this past year was the first class we ever did with my Been There from Stuck to Unstoppable program. One young man in class didn't speak much at all, but he observed. He has what I call quiet strength, because everyone has a different strength. And I remember, I am a touchy-feely hugger person, and I remember at the first class, there were certain students that really wanted that hug, but he was one like. And I thought, okay, we're going to just leave you there. He didn't speak much in class at all. We are into the 7th week, and it's the celebration. Well, before class, he came up to me and he goes, Bonnie, would it be okay if I speak? Yes, let me tell the facilitators. I worked with 3 of the Grafx Center facilitators on delivering this class, and I said he would like to speak. Well, he got up and he goes, Bonnie, can you come up here? And he put his arm around me and he said, you deserve this hug. And he hugged me and he said, if it wasn't for being in this class, being in this group, being here today, I probably wouldn't be here. You've taught me how to believe in myself and that I have worth. That picture was sent to the National Caring magazine, and they did a whole big write-up on how this got started, where I came from, how the chance meeting with Tony at the lunch when I showed up for someone else. This young man, that meant so much to me. I used to think as a speaker I could go in and give that feeling of, I see you, you have value, you have worth, you're amazing, to everyone. I realize it's one at a time. And he was the one at a time that touched my heart. And he said, without being involved in this, I don't think I'd be here today.
That's amazing. It's really amazing.
So I knew when KeyBank said, what's your dream? That was my dream, to expand it to adults are still feeling like they don't have whatever.
And I know that, see, every time I talk to you, and I've known you for years now, and every time I talk to you and I've spent some time with you at masterminds and stuff like that, I just hear these great stories of things that you've done for amazing people. And one of the stories that I remember that you told me about was the young man that you took to the Nike store that wanted to design Nikes, design tennis shoes. And
I'm still in touch with him. He is married.
Yeah.
They have
Oh,
a little
fantastic.
one. I am at all of the cities have their annual, bring the high schoolers in. We'll have a day of interviews where...
The job interview things?
Yeah, job interview practices, speaking, whatever. I remember this one year, because you probably haven't noticed, I do like to talk. But they said, Bonnie, after you speak, because I kind of help open things, try to get through as many as you can. Well, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
So
better just have them all come in. Yeah, bring them all in.
So that's how you met the...
the 2 hours
That's
that
how you
I
met the
was
young man.
there, I met 3. Geraldo was the last one. The second one, they're keeping kids at the door, and as the different people that were there doing practice interviews with the youth, when they were free, they would send them in. I saw this one really tall, handsome young man, but he was, a little bit reserved and shy, and the person went to send another person. I go, oh, he's been waiting. Well, he comes over and sits down. And he told me, I do not, okay, sorry people who put these together, I do not ask the questions, tell me about yourself. What do you, it's like, what's your dream? He wanted to go to college. He wanted to go to community college, but he knew that his parents couldn't afford it. He knew, and computer science. I said, I'm not going to say his name, but we got up and I said, this is the exercise part of your practice. Come with me. They had a resource room. Chemeketa Community College was there. I knew the folks, and I said without saying he needs special help to fill out the forms. Well, anyway, long story short, he went to Chemeketa. He graduated at the top of his class in computer science. I get a thank you card from him out of all of the kids, with the exception of Geraldo, and we'll get back to that, because H. White, who signed Michael Jordan, recently communicated with me after all these years. I get this thank you card from this young man. And I could tell it took everything in him to write it. And he said, you may have been the only interview I had that day, but Bonnie, you were the one I needed the most. Thank you. And then to follow up, I worked with Chemeketa for 14 years, to follow up and to find out he graduated at the top of his class in computer science just made my heart so good. So the next one, Geraldo came, and he, amazing. And I said, what's your dream? I want to be a top shoe designer. Really? A shoe designer? He told me about his brother working for the Levi Corporation, designing shoes, and how he and his family would work in the fields to get the money so that the brother could go to school. And I said, so you want to work for Levi or design shoes for Levi? He goes, oh no, Michael Jordan brand. And he began to tell me all the different models of the Michael Jordan brand. And it's like, wow, how does he know this? So anyway, we had connected, and a couple weeks later, I am in Portland, and I'm shopping at a little shop where I can't afford, won't afford the clothes until they not only come out of the store, they're on the sidewalk, and they've been marked down 2 or 3 times.
Thrift shopper too.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am. And I'm talking with the gal, but I noticed this man come in, and wow, he was dressed so nice. And I had never seen shoes like that. And I go, Mr. Nice Shoes, who dressed you today? So we started talking. Come to find out, his name was Larry. He was the president of the Michael Jordan brand at Nike. Still didn't register. Week or so later, I'm making the bed at home, and it's like, Geraldo, his dream, Larry. Well, it was at night, 11 o'clock at night. I sent an email to Larry. I tell him all about Geraldo and how I would love to bring him to the Nike campus so he could see that his dream was possible. And because I work with the school district and they do all their background checks, they knew I was on the up and up. I pick up Geraldo, I take him there. They were so floored with him. He is back with Larry and with the designers of the shoes, and I hear this, Miss Motivator, big, tall guy, H. White, Howard White, who signed Michael Jordan. Well, I didn't know that at the time, because for me, I go back to when I was a young girl. No one noticed me. No one made me feel special. Mm-hmm. No one gave me what we all crave, that human condition. Notice me. Make me feel special. So he goes, you want to come into my office? He gives me one of his books. And I go, oh my gosh, well, thank you. And basically it's like, who are you? You know? And he goes, my name is Howard, but you can call me H. And I'm thinking, okay, why have I heard about this? Well, anyway, we get ready to leave. So, okay, I know this is not making sense, and you're beautiful,
I'm
Ashley.
following you. I'm right on board.
Okay.
Here.
We're listening.
Okay, the videographer is going, no, how can I edit this? So anyway, we're getting ready to leave. Geraldo and our 1 hour time, because it's like Fort Knox to get into the Nike campus.
Oh, yeah.
Our 1 hour time turned into 3.5. They put together a private tour for us, lunch. It was amazing. Oh, we're getting ready to leave. We're at the elevator. I hear, Miss Motivator. And here's Larry with the big bag. And here's H with the big bag. And they go, Geraldo, you're going to be starting his senior year at that time. And Geraldo goes, yes. And they go, well, do you mind? We have some things for you. We really appreciate the ideas you gave the designers when you were back working with them. And so then H goes, and that's for you. And I said, oh, well, you have to sign it. And he goes, no, you will read it. And then you will call my assistants and come back and tell me how I can do better. Okay. Because I'm down here, he's up there. Okay, so we are coming back. Traffic was horrendous. We're stopped on the freeway. I said, Geraldo, what's in your bags? And he goes, oh, I don't know. And so he pulls out a box. He immediately starts crying. I go, what's wrong? And he goes, Miss Bonnie, you don't understand. These are the shoes they made for Kobe Bryant. He pulled out another box, the same thing. He pulled out a jacket. He got 2 Michael Jordan leather jackets. He got hats that were signed from the championship teams. And he said, Miss Bonnie, my mother told me to pray for an angel. You are my angel.
Yeah.
Geraldo now today does not work for Nike, but he does work for a solo entrepreneur. They have a space at the Woodburn Outlet Mall that all of the NBA teams know about. They will make appointments with Geraldo and the owner of the company, and Geraldo designs shoes, especially for them. Oh. And I just can only imagine what my life would be like today if I had one person that said, what's your dream? And then just open a door or just tell me you can. Who started me on that was the vice president of marketing for Home Federal Savings and Loan, Bill Buckley.
got you out on that stage and offered you a glass of water.
Well, no. No, that's a different story.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
But he saw potential in me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. I am tired of talking about the weather or where you live, what you drive, or how much money you have. I don't give a crap about that. I want to know who you are. I want to know what's your dream. And then, because of the relationships, maybe I can open a door, but it's up to you to walk through it and do the work.
So I love that story about the Nike. It actually brought tears to my eyes the first time I heard it, because that's just an amazing story.
And H reached out to me this summer.
That's great. When are we having lunch with them?
I'm not. Oh, you want to?
Whoa!
No, I am from my website. If you stay connected to me twice a month, I will send out. There's no rhyme or reason, but it's always something, hopefully, that will add something to your day or life. And I had written about summer or sunsets or whatever. And I got you don't hear from people. When you have a few thousand people, they get it, but you don't hear from them. I don't do that to expect that. Well, here I get this email. I don't know who it's from. And it's, "Hi, Miss Motivator."
Oh, there you go.
It's been since 2018 since we last spoke.
Wow.
My wife and I are sitting on the back porch. It is a beautiful summer night. We're watching the hummingbirds at the feeder. Thank you for bringing young Geraldo to us. And that was the day that I felt so seen by you. And I look, and it's from Howard. And, all these years, it's our presence. It's not all the shit we have. It's our presence.
Yeah.
And those are the reminders I get that just say, just be you. You're appropriately inappropriate at times. You're fun, but you have a heart of gold.
Be genuine. I love that. I love that. I wanted to ask you some quick questions.
Oh,
here.
no. Okay.
Some lightning questions. I couldn't remember them all, so I
just have
apologize.
two, so-
Do you have? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No,
Is
no.
this-
I want to end this.
No,
so-
is
not end the conversation. I want to end this with this thing. No mic drop.
Is this like a quiz?
Sort of.
Do I
But I'm
sit
going to let
closer?
Mike go first, because
Oh,
Mike
Mike.
has some great questions.
Oh, you have great
Usually they're
questions.
random.
Oh, okay.
But I guess because we
I
talk
like
a lot
double
about.
cheeseburgers with bacon.
I got one question now.
What's your favorite type of pizza?
Pizza. Yeah.
That's fine.
Awesome.
So what's funny is we kept mentioning showers in the bathrooms. I said we should have a counter back here. How many times Bonnie's gone to the shower? How many times, just because of the conversation. But we trailed off in other more important things. So
That
we
went
go back
way
to-
far off.
Okay, so my two questions are, one, because we've talked a lot about the impact and how that can help people, and it's just the smallest thing. I've experienced that in my life, and I've been fortunate enough to be that for a lot of people, which is really what fills me up. I'm not a big status person, like I told you before. I'd rather be behind the scenes and all that, But so for me, my questions are more about the future. Like what projects you have coming up next. But then I'll get to my second question. So what is your? Because I feel like you're a plinko ball. It just kind of affects everybody in
A
random
what
spot.
ball?
A plinko. You ever play plinko when you put the ball?
Yeah. Okay.
And I just feel like that's kind of your life, because you just kind of bounce around and you meet somebody, and then you connect the dot with that person, and then this one happens, and that one happens.
Oh, I
and
love
it's
that.
just magical how it
You're
all
a
comes together.
plinko.
I'm a plinko ball, or otherwise ADD. Yeah.
That's when the butterfly chaser thing comes in.
I love that.
But
It's on now.
mostly it's
Personal license plate.
it's like when you have that open mind. What's nice about that is when you meet people, it is amazing what happens if you just let them breathe a little bit, to you. And then they do that, and you're like, you know what, why not? Why can't we do that? Or why haven't you done that? Or what about this? And, you know, it's almost like they open themselves up a little bit, and you're like, you know, now we're going to get going. And they're like, whoa, 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 you know, in a way. But at the same time, sometimes they just need that one for you to open up one side of it and then just kind of push them into it. The next thing you know, they just go after it. It's just such a nice thing. So, what's your next? I said, that's what I mean. You really don't have a next project. I think projects just kind of find you.
Last year, out of 14 years speaking, showing up, was the biggest year on record as far as speaking engagements, travel, everything. Mm-hmm. Then it turned into me wanting to give back. So I'm starting now with all of my meetings, giving back, showing up for who and what's important in my life, to saying yes again to speaking engagements where I have been saying, I am so grateful, but at this season of my life, I am calling it my season of giving. And I am just going to show up and give. And they're like, well, how much does that cost? It's like, everybody thinks there has to be the money. And it's like, it's not about the money. It's about the relationships that I have and showing. It's time. So now what's coming up is I'm thinking something with the school districts, you know, will always be there. MC, we're starting into the season of fundraising events, nonprofits. So what is this month? It's almost September.
Almost September.
So October, I'll be back with Garton Services with the 7-foot friend, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah,
Jason.
Yes.
Yeah, he's exactly 30 inches taller than me.
Yeah. Oh,
we
I
joke
love
around
it.
about that.
Well, when we take our pictures together, I'm on a chair so that I can be eye level. But we started a couple of years ago together. We had a great time, great event. Last year, both of us are out of the country. He with his sports team, me with speaking, but we videotaped the opening that our mayor went on and opened for, but we're coming back this year. So that's in October, and then I have a corporation I will finish the year with early December, and I am staying open now to possibilities. I'm for rent again, if you will.
There we go. So can you tell everybody how to get a hold of you?
Oh, how to get a hold of
We'll probably have links and all that
We'll
kind
have
of
links,
stuff too,
but just go ahead.
Oh, links.
Yeah, do you have a
Okay.
website? How do you want them to reach out to you?
BonnieMilletto.com, and on my website, you can become a subscriber. You don't have to fill out the fun and play quiz. But as a child, for almost 16 years, I never played, I never laughed. I don't remember having toys. And now on the back end of my life, I want to play and have fun. But you can sign up and stay connected to what I send out twice a month. Bonnie at BonnieMilletto.com is an email. You can email me.
And one more question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Bucket list.
Bucket list.
Can you give me? Do you mind giving me one thing on your bucket list? Mm-hmm. Because I just looked at all the amazing things you do, and that was the one thing that I was curious about. Was like, I wonder if she's got a bucket list.
Do you know my bucket list is more travel within the United States and out of the United States, to see another little daughter that I took in when I was in the Philippines. In the Boracay area, and met this young woman who worked at a spa, who was working so hard to send money to her mother and father and siblings in Manila. A big hurricane came through, destroyed her parents' home, because a lot of it is bricks and straw and everything else. And for several months, I sent money to her through Western Union. She now has a little girl who is 4 years old, and we trade pictures, keep in touch. I would love to go back to that area to not only be with Irene and her daughter, but also to meet her large extended family. I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a great one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
You're done, huh? Well,
I only have 1,000 more questions, but
I know,
Okay,
I know.
we're gonna wrap up. It's pillow fight. Is that how we end this one?
No,
Oh no.
No,
okay.
No.
Okay,
But
I'll be good.
I think that it was.
What happened here? We got bunched up. Okay.
I actually absolutely loved all your stories, Bonnie. You're a big inspiration to everybody, myself and everybody that you come across. Like I said, there's no strangers in your life. But I put together some rapid fire questions,
Okay.
one word answers, or just real short answers.
This is like a game show.
Yeah,
I
so
love
I thought
games.
this would be fun. You're the first person that I've done this to, not we, because you didn't know about it.
no, I'm just sitting over here. Don't mind me.
Okay,
Okay,
so
here we
coffee
go.
or tea in the morning?
Coffee.
Book that changed your life?
The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale that I bought at a used bookstore in Albany when I was 17 and had $3.
You went way overboard on the answer.
No, I think
No,
it's
I'm
just
good. I
context.
think it's great.
It's good. One word answer.
Would you tell him to shut up? This is our game now.
Yes.
So, favorite guilty pleasure TV show or a movie?
Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Love that. How about a go-to karaoke song?
Mary had a little lamb.
Okay.
Not a karaoke singer?
No,
first
and
response
you
was
don't
mute.
want to hear it, but I
Very good.
love to sing. Yeah.
There we go. So if you can instantly master one new skill, what would it be?
Hot air balloon. No, I take it back. I'm thinking of Brad Pitt in that beautiful movie. I want to be a fly fisherwoman. Or fisherman?
Yeah, no, you're there.
So you want to fly fish?
Yeah. I had
Okay.
my fishing license for 20 years when I lived in the Sublimity Staten area
Okay.
and rode my own motorcycle, a 650.
Wow.
I know, I'm a big girl.
That's awesome.
That's a big motorcycle.
This is so I can get to know more about you.
All right.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Beach.
Very good. Who inspires you the most right now?
My children.
Morning person or night owl?
It kind of flips, but I'll take morning.
She's like, I don't know how to separate those 20 hours because it comes in the morning. And go ahead, sorry, my bad.
And I'm done. That was it.
That was it?
That was it. I had a 10th one, but Mike actually asked the bucket list. What's your one bucket list thing that you want to do? And you have already answered that.
Let me wrap this up. I want to continue what I'm doing right now, and that is living in my legacy, not waiting for me to go and have people, oh, I remember when, but getting who I am, what I'm all about now. I will continue
What
to
is that
live
legacy?
my legacy.
What is that legacy that you want people to, when they go, man, Bonnie was...
She made me feel like I had value and that I could do anything, that I am special and I am unique and there's no one like me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on our show.
Yeah.
Now the pillow fight.
Yeah, wait a second.
Okay,
I love it.
so-
We do.